Hello, everyone. Welcome to my 6 keys to great self-discipline. I want to introduce myself. My name is Crystal, and I am a certified life coach. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I am ready to kind of give you the 6 keys to greater self-discipline. If you stay and watch till the end, I do want to offer you something that you can go and purchase that is at a 50% discounted rate. So let's get into it. So, one of the keys to discipline is to do tasks immediately. Basically, no procrastination, right? Like, we want to get things done. Like, this is 2022. We're about to be in 2023. And we want to make sure we are being as proactive as possible. We all tend to put things off and we feel like doing them at the last minute, right? Sometimes people do like that stress to get things done. Um, I personally don't, but this also doing tasks immediately kind of helps lower your anxiety. That is exactly the opposite of self discipline. Is putting things off until the last minute. The idea of self discipline is doing what needs to be done in spite of whether you feel like it or not. There are plenty of times where I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but I know this is something I need to do. So I just get my mind together and I just go ahead and knock it out. For some people, it's a little bit harder, but let me tell you, being disciplined, a lot of people will say, how are you so disciplined like at work? And I'm like, I've just really trained myself from a very, very, very young age to just do what needs to be done. And so, with that being said, I just like to do things and get them done. Sometimes it's not immediate, but it's almost immediate. Number two, start small. So we don't want you to start biting off more than you can handle or more than you can chew. That right there will leave you feeling overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you really don't want to do anything. And that's not one of the keys to success, right? So start small. If your level of self-control is low, it's almost impossible to improve it dramatically overnight. So start with something small. So perhaps you could start with an exercise routine of 15 minutes per day instead of 90 minutes. So build your way up 15, 30, 45, like that. So that way you can kind of maintain as you're increasing your discipline level. We don't want you to go hard and fast and then you kind of crash and burn. You don't do anything for a long period of time. We want it to be something you can maintain. So if you start small, those 15 minutes for 2-3 weeks, even a month, right? Something that you can maintain, and then you increase it for an additional 5 minutes. Even that is better than going too fast and then kind of falling off the bandwagon and staying off the bandwagon. Number three, carry a task to completion. Now, this is very important. You don't want to start something and not finish. And, this right here is something that you definitely need to make sure you see it all the way through. When you start something, you go from A to Z. Most of us will stop an unpleasant task just before completion. It's very true. We don't like those uncomfortable feelings. For example, we'll wash all the dishes except for that big greasy frying pan. We'll mow the grass, but we'll save the trimming for another day. We clean 90% of the garage, but then we save that last 10% for one weekend to next weekend, and so on and so forth. And eventually, it doesn't get done. And so that's not the goal. The goal is to start and finish. It's one of those old school sayings. Don't start something if you can't finish it. You want to make sure that you are disciplined enough to say, okay, I have the time, the space, the mindset to kind of get one thing started and follow it all the way through. You like the three that we just talked about. You start small and you take it to completion. Like that's the goal. Like we want to make sure you are successful in this road to self-discipline. Number four, learn to work through negative feelings. As I was saying, it's a key step number three. You want to learn to work through those tough feelings. A lot of times we get those feelings of like overwhelmed. And definitely we need to kind of pause a little bit. But we kind of feel like, I really don't want to do this. We have to kind of wrestle with that and change our mindset. Negative feelings are really what stops us. We think about doing things and it gets nauseating, that pit in the middle of your stomach. Sometimes we're like, oh, this is the exact reason I didn't want to do this and start this, or, be bothered with this particular task. But if we work through that and those feelings, see where it's coming from, see where you're not feeling easy. If you're feeling so stressed about this one particular thing or several things, figure out how to break it down or figure out where you need to start. Like, what is it that you're feeling? Like, are you feeling that you're not competent enough to do this one thing? Do you feel like you need to reach out for help and you're stopping yourself from asking for the help that you need? Make sure you do the things to take care of yourself, to get the things that you need done, and to ultimately become more disciplined. We all go through negative feelings. We all hit those feelings of, oh, I really don't want to do that. It makes me feel a million different ways. It makes me feel some kind of way, and I don't want to feel that kind of way. And then we avoid. And with avoiding, we don't get anything done, right? And so we want to make sure we learn to work through our negative feelings. And ultimately, that'll help you grow to be more resilient to do certain tasks. And to look at, okay, let me reflect on what is it that I'm really, really feeling deep down. Like, am I not feeling like I'm able or competent or confident or worthy to do this one particular thing? Like, wrestle with where your feelings are coming from. Do you feel insecure? Do you feel like you don't have all the resources to do the things that you need to do? And when you figure out that, then you can be like, okay, let me get a game plan together and put those things in place so you can get to working through those feelings, so that the next time, if there's a next time you have to do this particular task, you can get right through it. Number 5, create artificial time pressure. So set a deadline for yourself, use it to your advantage. Along the same lines, a simple timer to keep track of time. Time pressure is very effective in helping people to focus. So you want to give yourself those little deadlines. What I do and what has helped me, I give myself a deadline before the deadline. So that way I give myself that wiggle room. If I have to do something in 2 weeks from now, I say, okay, I'm going to give myself a week to get whatever it is I need to get done or get started on what I need to get started on. So that way, if I'm not done in that week, I still have a couple more days to kind of put some things in place to get me to meet my deadline, right? And with that, if I don't meet that week and a half, I still have another couple days before the actual deadline comes, and then I can get my things in and done on time and to the standard that I feel it's well to present or to give or to do. Don't wait till the last minute. I know a lot of people are like, when it's due, it's due. And yeah, you can go with that. When it's due, it's due. But that is not going to be the most helpful way to be disciplined. You want to be disciplined in a way that helps you to be more successful. You want to use these keys to help you go from where you're at to where you see yourself being. If you see yourself saying, starting a business, okay, what are those things you need to do? First, you need to set some time aside to say, you know what? Let me sit down, write out what it is that I want to do. How do I want to do these things? What are the things I want to actually incorporate in the thing, in this business that I want to do? And then you start little by little. It can be very overwhelming, especially when you're starting maybe a huge task, but you kind of sit down, you get a game plan together, and you do what it is that needs to be done in the way that you can do it. Make sure that you are being your authentic self when you're getting your building your discipline. Don't build your discipline based off of what I've done or what the next person you see done. You have to do this the way that is coming from a genuine place, for one, and for two, the way that you can get it done, but making sure you get the task at hand done. I'm all for being authentic and genuine and being yourself. So with that being said, I want you to make sure that you be yourself, but also get your task or your agendas met. And number 6, use breaks wisely. I am a firm believer in this one. This is one of my favorite because I feel like this is what helps you to continue to stay successful and disciplined. While it can vary from person to person, for most people, studies have shown that a 10-minute break every hour improves productivity. Get up, take a drink of water, make a short phone call, avoid getting distracted by something you really enjoy. Let me show you. Literally an arm's length from our cell phones. I am on a computer and notifications pop up. We have all the things that can distract us right at our fingertips. And so with that being said, just kind of be disciplined to say, okay, I have a task. I'm going to work on this for 50 minutes solid. You got your game plan ready. You did all of steps 1 through 5. You got your game plan. You're working on your task or your agenda, and you got to that 50-minute mark. Reward yourself with a break. That's what we call rewarding yourself. Give yourself that 10 minutes to reward yourself with something you want to do. If you want to sit on your phone for 10 minutes while you take your little break and look at your notifications, check social media, check emails, make a phone call, go to the bathroom, right? We are all human. We have to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, hydrate, because that's very important. When you're going to be more disciplined, you're going to have periods of time where you're just really focused in on what it is that you're doing. And so you want to make sure you're taking care of your essential needs like bathroom breaks, hydration, eating a snack, something healthy, maybe some nuts. I always say food is not for just the body, it's for the brain too. Especially if we're using our brains so much. We have so much data and so much information and so much knowledge right at our fingertips that are coming into, at us. We can use those breaks to kind of use something, to eat something that's going to be healthy, not for us nutritionally, but also for us mentally. And so using those breaks is like a little reward to ourselves. As you can see, some of the people here checking their phone or just watching other people. I mean, even if you do nothing but just kind of like let your brain relax, that's helpful because we have to give ourselves those things that we actually need to be more disciplined. So like I was saying, at the end, I wanted to share with you guys something that I had created just recently, and I think it is a gem for you to go and purchase. So I've created this let me see if I can get it in the camera, mastery ebook. It is on sale. It is $29.97. My apologies. You can go and buy it. It's ready to download. It is 50% off. It is 60 pages of content, but they are broken down into small sections, so it's easy to read. And they're something like this. So example would be this. So see how there's small chunks of space. So that way the reading is just not all narrative. It's lots of great information in this ebook. It will help you to master habits, to be more disciplined, and then ultimately be the master of your own world. You make things look the way that you want versus letting things just kind of happen and unfold the way that they do. Taking control of how things in your life happen. We can't control everything, right? But there are things that we can control. And with that being said, I want you to go and be more disciplined and take charge of the areas of your life that you can take charge of, because ultimately that's what this life calls for, us to exude our purpose. And with doing that, we have to find ways to be more disciplined so that way we can meet those goals, meet them in a timely manner. Excuses come a dime a dozen. And so we don't want you to continue to make those excuses over and over and over, because guess what? We all have them. We all can find a way to find an excuse and not do what we're supposed to do. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this 15-minute webinar, so that way you can kind of get some of these little tips and tricks to kind of become more self-disciplined. A lot of people ask me, how do you become so disciplined? It's right now in my life, I can definitely say it's a habit that is concrete. It's not something I think about, like the things that I need to do. I just do them on autopilot. My brain takes no space to be like, what is it that you need to do next? I just know what I need to do. I don't bellyache about it. I know I need to do it, and I go ahead and knock it out. And so this ebook will definitely be a very huge step, which would be like a 2-part, right? You have this webinar, but then you look at the ebook to kind of like solidify how to like make things in your world the way you want them. And then you are the master of your world, right? You want to be the one in charge of how things happen in your life, not just happening to you. So with that being said, I would like to invite you to go click on this link and purchase my ebook, self-mastery ebook, so that way you can tie up this self-discipline. And if you really want to, make this concrete, as I would say, go check out my website, book a coaching session. Trust and believe me, I'm going to hold you accountable because I do not like excuses. I'm going to be very clear about that. And not that I'm going to be hard on you, but I just want to make sure that you become the master of your world as I've become the master of mine. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this short webinar. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I know we are all on the go and it's the holidays. So I hope to hear from you soon. Go get your ebook, go book you a coaching call, and I will hear from you soon.